Hi everyone, I'm Lauren from Peas in a Pod, and today I'm going to talk about hitchhiking. For when you have someplace to go, but you also kind of want to take the risk of being horrifically murdered. So a lot of you might be wondering if hitchhiking is even a thing that actually happens in the US. I'm sure that you've seen it in movies and TV shows, but you probably haven't seen it happen when you're just out and about. Well, people still do hitchhike, though it isn't like how it used to be.
This sucks, man. How come we ain't getting no rides?
'Cause you're doing it all wrong.
So hitchhiking was really popular back in like the 60s and the 70s, but then there were a bunch of really high-profile murders of hitchhikers, so the practice kind of fell out of favor. And it became synonymous with danger and drifters. So that's why you don't see it as often anymore, but people still do hitchhike. I myself have hitchhiked a few times. Once when I was young because my friend's mom's car broke down, so we hitched a ride in the back of a truck. Another time I was going to a retreat and I Googled it beforehand and it said that it would take me 15 minutes from the bus station to get to the campsite. What I didn't realize is that was 15 minutes by car. I thought that I could just walk the whole way. So I ended up walking for about half an hour and I was convinced that I was lost. So I waved down a car, told them where I wanted to go, and they were nice enough to take me there and not murder me, which was highly appreciated, as always. Now, just because I've had largely positive experiences with hitchhiking does not mean that it's a safe practice, and it's definitely not something I endorse people to do. So a really popular practice nowadays instead of hitchhiking are ride shares, which are deemed to be safer than hitchhiking because you actually get to see a profile of the person beforehand and they're hired by a company. That being said, if you ever have the option between a ride share and a taxi, I highly recommend taking the taxi instead. Taxi companies do very thorough background checks, and if you've looked into recent news articles about rideshare companies like Lyft and Uber, they're not as thorough with their background checks. So how can you hitchhike safely in America? Well, my number one tip is don't. Just don't. Don't do it. Get a cab, call a friend, or just stay in. Staying in is highly underrated and much more preferable to being killed. But if you have to hitchhike, then here are some actual tips of how to hitchhike safely. You want to make sure that your clothes are bright. You're going to be on the side of the road. You don't want to accidentally be hit by a car. So wearing something that's white, or maybe just like a really bright color, or even having your phone out so that people can see the light from it will help to keep you safe. Talk to the person before you get into the car. So you want to do this so you can kind of gauge what kind of person they are, and you can also make sure that they're not drunk or high and therefore impaired to drive. So tip number 3 to stay safe, and I think this one is the most important one, you want to let someone know that you're hitchhiking and you want to tell them about the car that you're hitchhiking in. Now, when someone pulls over and you talk to them a little bit and you realize that, okay, this person isn't drunk, they seem nice enough to give me a lift to the gas station. So what you want to do then is tell them, hey, I'm just going to quickly text my friend a picture of your license plate and just let them know that I'm hitchhiking, just so they don't worry about me. Now, if the driver gets upset about this and they tell you not to do it or they try to convince you not to do it, that's because you've just ruined their murder plans. You don't want to get in that car. So make sure that you text someone and let them know the make, model, year, and color of the car, and maybe tell them a little bit about the driver. And make sure you let them know about the license plate number, because if the police have to come looking for you, that's information that they're gonna need. But let's say your phone is dead. So instead of texting someone, you can pretend to call them and make sure that the driver hears you describing the car and giving the license plate number. That way, even though you haven't actually warned anyone about what you're doing, the driver thinks that you have, which means that if they were planning on attacking you or, doing anything else nefarious, they're going to be much less likely to do it because then they'll get caught. Now, I don't want to give the impression that every single person who picks up a hitchhiker or every hitchhiker is just a crazed murderer waiting to kill you. They're not. For the most part, they're perfectly nice people. But at the same time, you want to be careful. So I hope that this episode has helped to explain a little bit about hitchhiking in America, and please do not let my own positive experiences be the catalyst for you trying it on your own. But if you are going to hitchhike, just remember to be safe and use your best judgment. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button below and be sure to subscribe to our channel. We put out new videos every Friday. And check out our website to learn more about us and other ways that you can improve your cultural literacy. And join us on WeChat where you can learn daily English slang. I've been Lauren with Peas in a Pod. Until next time.